My next train of thought is, okay, number one, who did he contact and how did he contact someone that able to mix all this thing until he finally get intermediate? That's number one. Because he studied engineering, he didn't, unless you tell me he studied chemical engineering and whatever, like the Breaking Bad like that. And number two is, how did he expand all the way to Korea? This is an undergrad, and he doesn't seem like he got parents that are very rich kind.
My first thought was that is he the fall guy? You know?
Yes,
maybe.
Yes.
My first thought is really like, usually this kind of big organization, right? You won't be the boss. It's too far-fetched. And welcome to the Lao Jiaos Podcast, presented to you by the Chit Podcast Network. This is where we bring you unfiltered and unapologetic takes on the news, current affairs, and all the things people pretend to understand. I'm your host, Brendan, and with me is my fellow Lao Jiaos, Yong.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm more well rested this week. I don't feel so tired. Last week I was quite tired.
I am the opposite. I am dying this week, especially it's my birthday week, and I'm not feeling the best, which is not great. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with all these MRT breakdowns. It sucks. What do you think is happening?
Honestly, bro, all I've been hearing is just signaling fault. This is a standalone incident. It's nothing systematic, and a lot of questions being posed to this new acting minister only. I pity him, yeah.
It's really quite sad that somehow or another he just really, I don't know, is it sway or like all this is all the saikang from the previous person? Yeah. Just leave it there, leave him to clean up. But too many things happening in the past 2 weeks. Like too many breakdowns. Do you see the Raffles Place, the flood or not? Wow, I was just like,
夸张 that one.
Yeah, I was like, of all places, Raffles Place. I can't think of a more sucky way to start your day.
Yeah, and like I say, right, the acting minister, this is his first appointment into the cabinet. Like, can you imagine, like, you finally become a cabinet minister, then within the first few months, like, all the shit just like drop on you. Why? I can't think of a worse way to start your career.
I feel like the only way that they're managing it, right, is just repeating the same thing. Oh, it's all separate occasions.
Yeah.
This is an isolated event, but so many different isolated events, it doesn't give people much confidence.
Trying to be nice, I would say give them a bit of time because they also appointed a task force. We can sort of wait and see whether there is anything concrete that comes out from it. I think as people that take public transport, we will want it to be reliable. I mean, this many number of breakdowns within a month is quite ridiculous.
Really ridiculous because honestly, because the train lines are already set up, this is already existing train lines, right? We pay so much money to SMRT. Like, it's like total SMRT mix per day is insane. I think people ever counted before, it's a crazy amount of money. So it's like, you expect better, I will feel. Because
the upcoming parliament, they post the questions already, and then it was posted what questions going to be discussed, right? Already got 4-5 ministers got questions for him already. I feel for him, it's always about...
It's because really in Singapore, what else is there to talk about? Especially when there's problems, It's really a Singapore culture.
Yeah, but Mr. Xiao, my heart goes out to you, but please make our public transport reliable again.
So today, right, Jin Yong will be covering our segment of the week. His segment is Random Facts. So Jin Yong, what will you be sharing today?
Okay, my random fact today is actually very, I would say, cute. My random fact for the week is the first fast food chain that was established in Singapore.
Ooh.
So, Brendan, would you like to take a guess which fast food chain actually started in Singapore in 1968?
I would have to guess it's McDonald's. I would feel it's McDonald's.
You're actually wrong. The first fast food chain in Singapore is actually A&W.
Well, I always thought that I saw like the push cart, McDonald's cart in Singapore. I don't know whether is it in Singapore or the photo.
I was equally as surprised as you to hear that A&W was the first fast food chain to set up in Singapore because they didn't really, I wouldn't say they really take off. They took off like in the 80s, 90s. I remember going
They closed down.
Correct. But I remember when I was young, like going to A&W is like my favorite, like compared to McDonald's because
because they got waffle,
correct,
ice cream
they
float.
had the root beer float. I would like to go back to the time when root beer float you can drink and just feel happy. Now you drink and think diabetic. This is too much for the day. I need to exercise a bit more. Because they have made a recent comeback, I think with 2 or 3 branches in Singapore.
A&W, their food, right? It's really actually quite nice. Like decent. I really like the hot dogs. I love their root beer floats.
Yeah.
And actually, more often or not, instead of eating there for like dinner, right, I prefer to eat there for ice cream. The waffle.
cream? Oh.
The waffle. Their waffle.
Oh,
I
okay.
really love their waffle.
But I was pleasantly surprised to learn that this was the first fast food chain to set up in Singapore because I have a lot of very nice memories about it.
I feel like most people wouldn't guess A&W because really they were out of Singapore for very, very long.
Yeah,
The only place you can go for A&W is like when you drive up to, I think, KL, then halfway there's
Yes.
a checkpoint with the A&W,
Yes.
right? So before our episode, a word from our sponsor.
We would like to thank our friends at Carnation Footcare for sponsoring the episode. Carnation Footcare, trusted by generations as the go-to foot care specialist for over 100 years. From scrubs to creams to plasters, Carnation has everything you need to give your feet the care they deserve.
Start your DIY foot spa with the exfoliating foot scrub made with natural walnut shell granules and a refreshing peppermint scent to gently smooth away dry, rough skin. Follow it up with their cracked heel cream, a rich, hydrating formula with peppermint oil to help repair and restore dry, cracked heel. And of course, there's their best seller, Carnation Corn Caps, medicated plaster designed to relieve pressure and remove corns effectively.
As a treat for our listeners, Carnation Footcare is offering 30% off via an exclusive Shopee voucher. Just click the link in the episode description to claim it. Once again, big thanks to Carnation Footcare for sponsoring this episode.
And now back to the episode. So the first news of the day, right, is that Agoda has retrenched approximately 50 employees. The shocker is that the affected employees receive severance agreements, right, containing instructions not to make reports to government agencies.
I think there were two parts of the news. The first part is like, wow, like Agoda retrenchment is like not news anymore because you heard of so many like what? Okay, I think a lot of companies undergo retrenchment.
I don't dare to say the names really.
Yeah. So a lot of companies undergo retrenchment. So it wasn't surprising. What surprised me was that they sort of tell their staff that you cannot go and tell people that we retrenching you or like there's some clause in their exit thing lah. If you do it this way, right, confirm people will go MOM or they will go somewhere to complain one. And then true enough lah, the Chinese call the 纸包不住火. Paper cannot contain the fire. Then this thing got just burn and get bigger and bigger.
That when companies, the more they try to hide it, right, the more often or not, right, it blows up even bigger. Like there were so many companies that retrenched.
Yeah.
I believe Google even retrenched like quite a few people, right, at one point of time, and they just give several packages and then they just move on with their life. And nobody really make a big fuss. Everybody understands that. The standard, like companies will always want to downsize or they move like teams or they moving direction. But the moment they do some weird instruction to not make report to government agencies, right, it's just straight away, this is something for me to do tomorrow.
Yeah. As in, there are a lot of cases beforehand that have shown that companies that do this and try to like tell your employees to keep quiet, this kind of thing, it never ends well. Then why do people still think that, or why do companies still think that in Singapore's context, you do this, like we can just keep this under wraps and like get it over and done with in a like so-called healthy manner? This one I quite don't understand.
Like they are probably trying to hide something in their closet. You know, they have something to hide in their closets.
So I echo your sentiment because the first thing I hear about this is that, you know, the Chinese call the 此地无银三百两, means that I'm doing this, there's no gold hidden here, but actually the moment you try to hide it more, the more I feel that there's something behind that you don't want people to know. Now, if not, why would you go out of your way and like tell people, you all cannot tell to people? Then like what? What are you trying to hide?
I feel like it's very similar to the Coldplay concert where they caught the cheaters. Honestly, if they were just acted normally, right, they just like smile, wave.
No one will realize.
Yeah, 2 seconds later, the screen will switch, right? Then nobody will be suspicious. But they had such big reactions that in the end, everybody found it became a meme. It became like a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody make like there's advertisements about it. Yeah, so it's so crazy. Yeah.
What, the people that have the skeletons in the closet are the one that when people point the finger at you, like, hey, not me.
Yeah, the biggest reaction.
I imagine that if the Coldplay couple had sort of like just play it off, right, the husband can totally go back, right? The wife can question him and say, hey, if I'm the one you think I can be there, it's just someone that look really like me, I still feel
correct. Yeah. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. So because nobody will be like coming out and filming and like posting on social media, like, wow, this is...
It's not surprising that companies are retrenching people. But I think it's important that they do it in the right way. I've also heard of companies that they will tell their employees in advance, they'll try to help them find their next job, they'll write them referral letter, this kind of thing. I think try to do it right, because if your brand matter, if you think your company will want to survive for the next 10, 20 years, this kind of thing will be the difference. Because this kind of 名声, this kind of your name of your company is what people, you can't stop how people will talk about your company behind your back.
Correct. No matter how good of a company you are, right? Like you have 10 years of good reputation. This kind of one bad reputation, right, will really like drag your 10 years of effort down.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's not a very good way of marketing. Moving on to our next news, it will be that Ivan Tan Zixuan, previously an engineering student at Nanyang Technological University, took a year off school in 2019 to run a bak chor mee store. He is now arrested in Malaysia for allegedly trying to move vapes laced with itominate and cocaine to South Korea. It's really quite so damn random
Shocker.
news. I think I heard this first right when I was driving in the car. Then like they put this news on the radio. What was the first reaction?
Actually, my first reaction was I remember the article, because I remembered they were featured, and then I still like very painful. How means that I really admired them because they're like, hey, you study, you still sell bak chor mee, and then this is a profession that is not most uni grads will do one. Wow, he sell bak chor mee. At the time he said, hey, me and my friends, we study, we no time, we still sell bak chor mee together, and then we do it because we got passion. I'm like, wow, so motivated. Then how I know, this guy no studying, no time to sell bak chor mee, still got time to do all this funny side business there. How he get the time? I don't understand.
You can't stop a businessman in him. He saw the ROI. I feel like maybe he studied too much. Then he realized, the ROI of the bak chor mee store not great. But then, sell vape, ROI just through the roof. Take a little bit of risk.
After that, after I got past this, right, my next train of thought is, okay, number one, who did he contact? How did he contact someone that able to mix all this thing until he finally get itominate? That's number one. Because he studied engineering, he didn't, unless you tell me he studied chemical engineering and whatever, like the Breaking Bad like that. And number two is, how did he expand all the way to Korea? This is an undergrad, and he doesn't seem like he got parents that are very rich kind.
My first thought was that is he the fall guy?
Yes, maybe.
Yes. My first thought is really like, usually this kind of big organization, right? You won't be the boss. It's too far-fetched.
This just reminds me of the Breaking Bad, the lawyer scene. The lawyer talked to the Heisenberg or Heisenberg. He also say you have to open one nail salon or something. If not, how all your cash become clean cash that you can use.
He went through the money laundering 101. The first few reaction of like most Singaporeans out there, right? The first reaction is actually why was there a need to mention NTU, like the bak chor mee store? So the story actually sounded like, you're lifting someone up. This person so hardworking. NTU go bak chor mee store, bring up the thing, then suddenly, but then he got caught for selling drugs and vape. Then I was just like, why was bring up like I feel like it's really like showing off like how big of a fall he went to, last time we bring him up, he did what a hardworking guy from like took a break to sell bak chor mee. Then now we tear him down.
My other thought was that the one that wrote this must be an NUS student or NUS grad.
That is true. Actually, you think about it, right? He jumped from so far, right? From just a typical NTU student, become a bak chor mee owner. Then after that, become a crime syndicate, drug syndicate, dabble in drug syndicate. What would he have gone on next? It's a big boy crime already. No longer wearing having the training wheels where I just buy some vape capsules from Malaysia, bring it inside. No. Now it's with cocaine and itominate. Let's bring it to South Korea. Like, wow.
That's why when you said the point that he might be the fall guy, I actually totally agree. Many years ago when we didn't have Grab, I actually took taxi home like one late night. So this taxi driver actually shared his story with me. Quite similar to this guy's story. He said that he used to open like a nightclub in Malaysia. His nightclub was very successful. Then I asked him how you make money in a nightclub, because apparently in Malaysia, alcohol cannot be sold like openly, it has to be hush, this kind of thing. He sell drugs under table. He say, but the problem is that because you want to do things legally there, selling drugs, although the profit margin very big, right? You have to pay off a lot of people. You have to pay off the son of the mayor in that place. You have to pay off Sultan. You have to pay off the police chief, assistant chief. Then I asked him how you earn money. Apparently, a lot of people after taking drugs will feel very thirsty one. So he don't sell alcohol. He sells a lot of sweet drinks. He drive up the cost of sweet drinks, like one carafe of Coke, right? He said he sell like $10 Sing. People will still buy, they will drink, they will get more thirsty, and then they will buy more. So that's how he earned money. This really made me think about this story because every time you hear the police catching these people doing all this kind of thing, right? You catch, right? And then there'll still be new people, new forms of drugs. There'll be new supply chains that come about, and it seems to be never ending.
there are actually a lot of the nightclub owners, when they keep changing hands, right? You say like they close down, open, close down, open, close down, open.
Yeah.
The name just changed a bit from like maybe like Jupiter become Mars, Mars become stars, and like all kind of funny. They just, and you know that everybody inside is still the same. I've heard, right, the company is always, the director, right, is always like some four guy, and they call him the Topikong. That means like the you just get someone, right? You just pay the person like 3 or 4K a month, right? Then after that, this person will be the one just signing off all the documents.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's signing off all the documents. He don't know what he's signing for, so that he just knows that if anything happens, he for nothing he's receiving 3 to 4K a month. Then after that, when anything happens, right, when he goes to jail, right, he will still receive the 3 to 4K a month until he come out.
For them, this is really a stable income because they hard for some people to find jobs, ma.
Let's say if you're a Grab driver, it's a supplement. Let's say, you're a Grab driver, you feel like you're a bit lazy. This one gives you 3 to 4K a month. You're just taking a risk that, or let's say you have gone to prison a long time ago for some silly thing. Your job literally doesn't matter whether you go to prison or not.
I also do agree with you that I think that this whole supply chain and this whole network runs more than just this person. So,
100%.
Yeah, I think kids nowadays having their own values and knowing what's right and what's wrong, what should do, what shouldn't do, is more important than like, trying to catch the number one top boss. Because I feel that even if the top boss is no longer there, humanity and history has shown that they will spot out from somewhere. There will always be a place for this kind of things.
But talking about what's the right thing to do, the next news will be that a maid was jailed for showing off a 92-year-old man's private part in a video call with a boyfriend. So my first thought, right, when I heard this, right, was how did the police even know that this person told the 92-year-old man private part? As in, like, unless the 92-year-old man, like, I don't understand. The whole story just makes no sense to me. Like
you, right? The first thing I heard about the news, right? My first thought is that Monday he kena flash, then he wait for his children weekend visit, then say, hey, I got something to tell you. Hey, the maid show my this one to her boyfriend, a video call.
As a person, right, why would you show a boyfriend like, hey, wow, look at this old man's penis? And just like, huh? What's happening? Why would that even come in the conversation? I don't get it.
Very dirty thought would think that, wow, what kind of sick fetish is she playing out with her boyfriend? Like, is this some off-day bullshit that they're doing? I actually really go Google the article and search. So apparently the old man, the 92-year-old man, is sort of like not mobile and cannot speak. The employee saw the action via CCTV. That's number one.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yes,
that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Okay,
then the second thing is that apparently she was on a video call with her so-called boyfriend, and she sort of like showed this and then like made fun of this old man with her boyfriend. So it's like they are sharing a joke kind of thing. Not to diminish the crime, but at least there was no better than what I was imagining.
There was no ill intent or some funny business going on. It's just really people being silly. And
how would you know that there's CCTV looking at you doing your work and then you still do this kind of thing that don't mix? That you know that is not really correct. They
assume that 24 hours a day, what's the chances that they will catch that? But at the end of the day, this is the people who like to play with the system.
I don't know whether I shared this with you, Brandon, before. Like, my helper also go borrow some money. And apparently, it's quite a common thing in Singapore that if your helper borrow money from guarantor, right, they will ask for your employer's details. If the money is small enough, they feel that no incentive for them to come harass you, right, personally, right? They will just order Grab or Lala Move and say what? Cash upon delivery. Then they just come to your house at funny hours. They just keep knocking on your door. So you just have to live with the harassment for 1-2 weeks. I find it very ridiculous, like Sing dollars, $100-$200, and then like we make a police report. The police also say, I'm sorry, y'all cannot do anything. As in they cannot do anything unless they feel that
got like some ill intent. Because at the end of the day, like they are well within their means to chase back for the money.
Getting a maid is getting more and more prevalent, especially with like seniors after they have a big illness, or if let's say you need to work, you cannot take care of your parents. Yeah. Sometimes even getting a maid, right? You interview, you think everything okay, then you don't know what's going on in their life. So it's always like a toss of the coin. Yes.
Yeah, I had a colleague before that during the interview, the helper speak in Chinese, right? She came here, right? She barely could speak English, let alone Chinese. And Chinese, right? Literally, right? That's the only sentence she memorized. Other than that, she don't know any Chinese whatsoever. Wow, my friends were so angry. Then literally the communication breakdown from day one.
Unfortunately, these are things that I think I cannot advise people, although this has happened to me before, like how to better judge people, how to better think that this kind of maid I think can vibe with, or like vibe with. That's the wrong thing.
That's why honestly, like recommendation for like a maid agency is a very big important factor. Because for this, right, it's the agency that teach the maid how to do this kind of silly, like not like lying in the interview.
Yeah, so I think probably like you said, the only foolproof way is probably to ask around recommendations, and then if you have because like my current maid don't have this kind of funny issues. Also, my brother's ex-boss recommend one. So the ex-boss used this agency for quite some time, and then he recommended to us. The maid agent a bit gangster, but I like like he not afraid of all these debtors and people that find him. He said
So before we end, we would like to go with a quick round of quick fire news for the Alamak Meter Smart Dumb or just plain Alamak. The first news is that Chinese teens are fined $395,706 for peeing in a Shanghai Hai Di Lao hot pot.
This is just plain Alamak in the sense that why the would you think about peeing in a hot pot, number one? And why as a parent, you don't stop them from doing this? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's a friend group thing. I think it's just I just found this plain dumb. This is really just 100% plain dumb. Like, what were these people thinking? They were clearly not thinking. They were probably high on drinks, drugs. There was some joke. Next one is that Blackpink adds their third show on November 28th. I feel like this is a very smart move. End of the day, they are going very big. Now they're really very, very big. I'm a huge Blink fan. I went for the first two concerts in Singapore, but I'm not sure whether I'm attending the third one because I didn't bother to get a ticket. But yeah, maybe they're telling me, reminding me that I got another chance.
I would really say if you have the chance to watch them, if you can afford it, please go watch them, because you never know when they just say, okay, 时间到了, we won't do it anymore.
Alright, that was our Lao Jiaos podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like and subscribe. We have an episode that comes out every Friday. But at the same time also, if you are into football, we have the football kakis that drop every Wednesdays. And our Kopi Bro show, where we interview fun and amazing guests from around Singapore every Monday. Now, we hope that everyone have a great week ahead. But remember,
we don't talk cock,
but sometimes we do.